See, this really frustrates me when white folks and large corporations like to go to the lowest hanging fruit and not the most intelligent and qualified black people. Like it's just so
It
interesting.
doesn't that tells us they don't take us seriously.
Experience Karen Hunter in a completely different way. Karen Hunter is awesome. The podcast.
If you like me on SiriusXM Urban View Channel 126, you're going to love me. And Karen Hunter is awesome. Hey, this is Karen Hunter, host of The Karen Hunter Show on SiriusXM's Urban View. Karen Hunter is Awesome is an actual podcast to bring heat and energy and knowledge and power. A 1-2 punch that I don't think you get anyplace else. Tell the truth. Check out the podcast. Wherever you get your podcast, you will not be disappointed. All right, let me go to Gregory in Illinois. He's in Chicago, I guess, or outside of Chicago. Welcome. Hi, Gregory.
Hello. How you doing, Professor Karen? And hello, Miss Amber. Yes, my name is Gregory North. And hope I don't sound too rattled.
You do. You sound a little rattled. I'm gonna need you to hold on, Gregory. I'm gonna need you to breathe. Breathe in, breathe out. We're going to do a little read down your face. Breathe in, breathe out, sir.
I did that this morning, too.
Okay.
The first time I watched all shows today trying to get it on my schedule, but I spent 30 years, or 20-some years in the Marine Corps, came back to the country and was shocked at all the things I've seen done. And I know I've got to make this fast. So fast forward, anything I say I can validate. I spent 30 years of being successful as a direct success, but all the things that I've been doing is for the people. And I've done nothing but ran into opposition as it relates to these selected leaders that are chosen to represent us in our communities, from national all the way down to branches of charter. We just passed a bill about seizure in here in Illinois called the Climate Equitable Jobs Act, and money supposed to be coming to Black people specifically. Mm-hmm. But during the lobbying of that, I ran into problems with religious leaders who they would listen to on how things should be done, and there's been nothing but failure. Fast forward to Reverend Al Sharpton with the utmost of greatest respect of listening to him and following him, throughout his days with Jackson, is that this is a time that, no, this is a teachable moment. When you say that these are things that we need to teach them how to treat us, this is a teachable moment. Somehow there needs to be that town hall that was spoken of, and so that the people will be represented and be representing themselves as a whole.
Yes.
That is where I'm at with that.
I agree. Yeah. Target shouldn't have the luxury or the right to pick one person that they sit down and talk with when we've all made a decision to not shop there and it's impacting their bottom line. You don't get to make that decision. You don't get to, and I don't know how the meeting came about, but that again is a media made, and I'm not saying that Al Sharpton doesn't have any sway, but to Amber's point, the world is different. Mm-hmm. These 20-something, 30-year-old activists, they not really messing with him like that. Nor should they, because it's a new generation. And unless there's an actual torch carrying thing, and I know there's a lot of, let me just say this, there are a lot of conferences and things that are, I'm going to say it because it's Thrive Thursday, money-making ventures.
Correct.
Even the great Tavis Smiley would have those State of the Unions, which were amazing. But it was, you look at the sponsorship, and my question was always afterwards, with all of this collective brilliance, what's the game plan? And Tavis, to his credit, had a book, like The Covenant, I think he put out, which had a list of things that, but before The Covenant, there was, to me, like, we don't need new things. We have Lerone Bennett. We have Randall Robinson's The Debt. There have been things that we don't need to do a new version of. The Black Panthers had a 10-point, can we do the 10 points? And I don't feel like we need to reinvent the wheel.
We've been talking about community. My question is always, when do we commune? Because we have the resources, we have the ideas. I have personally written and shared a plan for a few things. It is difficult to get it in front of the quote unquote ideal person, to get the right movement, to get the right conversation started, at some point, we have to stop saying we need to be in community. We have to be in community. We need to be connected, and the communing has to occur.
Well, I'm planning Urban View. We're going to be out in the streets, and it's not going to be talking at people. It's going to be listening to people. As I say every day on these airways, we all live somewhere. So I'm
Yeah.
going to go into the quote unquote impact, like the Jackson, Mississippi's and the was it the French Quarter in Louisiana, like the places that they are targeting. I just started watching this documentary. I'm going to talk probably more about it tomorrow on Max, called Dark Money, the Dark Money Game. And it broke my heart, made me angry and furious, and at the same time gave me hope, because racist white people were so mad at the empowerment of others that they had to figure out. I play this clip all the time about from Paul Wayward telling, from the moral majority telling, we don't want everybody to vote. Like, so they understood early on that the numbers don't matter. We don't have to play it again. The numbers don't matter as long as you can suppress and oppress the vote and knock people off. But also, if you can reach people with, I played a clip from Bernie Sanders, with a message that makes them want to show up for their whiteness. Right. Bernie Sanders said that was the plan. Bernie Sanders gave the blueprint 20 something years ago. And here we are, and it's all local, hyper local. It's state legislators, it's state Supreme Courts. And this is how, because they knew they could never get the federal again unless they got rigged the system at the local level. And for the last 20, this is what they did.
I would like the level of commitment that we have made to boycotting a Target, quote unquote boycotting, because there's a whole nother conversation to be had about what a boycott really is. And I don't know that this is the place or the time, but I will say, if we could take that level of focus and apply it, like, just, pivot it just a little bit in a bit more of an impactful direction. Like, I appreciate the cohesiveness of the moment, but the messaging is all over the place. Who it is that, we should actually be trying to trust in terms of pulling the conversations together, the cliquishness of the folks that are so-called in charge and at the top, the confusion is real. It's not serving anyone. It really isn't. I mean, we've made an impact, and it may feel good to make that impact. But when we think about how significant the full impact needs to be to move, this is just a little drop. Because if a Target closes tomorrow, Black people still not free.
Correct. There you go. This is why I think we first listened, and I'm taking this Buster Stories, who came in to pastor a church in Somerset, which the community at the time was under siege of drugs, and it was crime, and it was, he said literally there'd be like hypodermic needles in the parking lot and crack vials and stuff. And he set up one of those, trailers, and had the people come in and ask them what they needed. Okay, we need this park cleared out. Okay, so that's the first thing. Let's clear out the park where all of the nighttime activities are going on. Let's level it. What else? We need affordable housing. Okay. So over a 10-year period, this man, and then he ran for office or whatever and became Secretary of State of New Jersey, and then put people in position so that his community would be directly impacted. Like, that's how you move. You move that way. But that took planning and listening. And then sometimes you ask somebody what they need and they don't know. To your point, my mother didn't know what she really liked, because all of the things that she liked had to, was under the, this is what my father wanted. It
was assigned to her. So yes.
Correct. Oh, you gonna have this Mercedes, this mink coat, whatever. Okay, I guess I like it. Do you know you like it? I mean, my father tried to, I shouldn't even tell you, but yeah, he bought me a car for graduation, but it wasn't the car that I wanted. So the first chance I got, I sold that car and got the car that I wanted, with my deed and title, because that's the other thing. It's like, no, I'm going to get what I want because I know what I want. But a lot of people don't even know, what do you want? What do you need? You live this place. What do you need? So how do we even start to build institutions when it's like, okay, we need good schools, but what does a good school look like?
Yes.
What does your child need in your house? Food, clothing, all of those things, but each child is different.
Yes, we have to do the labor of identifying. It goes back to value. What are your values? What do you want? Like, it's so often, and I appreciate that reference. Like, it's something I say all the time. Like, when you think about wants, are the wants that come to mind for you wants that you have decided for yourself, or are they the wants that were handed to you? Did you stop going to Target because somebody handed it to you and said, hey, we're not going to Target? And that was it? Or did you actually step back and decide for yourself? And I recommended this in the Human and Well podcast, gave you a whole worksheet so you can figure out what you actually want to do. Okay, because at the end of the day, if you are doing it because someone told you to, what happens when they change their mind? You gonna change your mind? You know, like, so like we have to, we have to get clear about what community actually means. We have to get clear about what we actually want. We have to get clear about defining what good is. Good schools, good health, good communication, good. What do we mean by that? Well, I want, you know, my children to be able to have access to opportunity to play sports and see art, and also, you know, have teachers that they can build a relationship with. Okay, now I can start to work towards that.
That's right. That's
Because
right.
otherwise I'm going to assign good to you. And
Right.
you're going to tell me
Right.
that it's not what you wanted. And if you think about the way the equity work happened, a lot of that is what occurred. We showed up and said, you need to do better. You need to treat us better. It's not happening right. And so they said, okay, well, we're going to build this museum, or we're going to raise this fund, or and you would be like, I didn't ask for that. But did you ask for something? Did you say what it is? Because there were a lot of times where there wasn't, you know, some specificity. And we, you know, I would love us to get better at it, but we got to do it within first.
Individually.
Yeah.
Yep. Know what you know what you like, know what you need. Sit with yourself, as Tiffany was saying, be quiet. Sit with yourself. Like, but you can't really know unless you know what you know, it's like, I didn't like Brussels sprouts, but I didn't like, you know, how they were made. I love Brussels sprouts now, you know, like, so, but you learn, even like the first time I made Brussels sprouts, they were horrible.
Yep.
So I got a few recipes, you know, now I love Brussels sprouts, but you have to keep going until you figure out, okay. And it can't be just one time. I don't like spinach. I don't like, you know, I hate that, you know.
Correct. We need some resilience. This is the thing.
Yes.
You got to have a bit of resilience so that you can encounter things you don't like, so that you can be cerebral about your experiences and be able to question, like, what was it about that? You know, I never really had it prepared that way. Maybe I can try it, right? Like, you know, now you might discover, like me, and watermelon, and it don't matter if you put salt on it, if you cut it up, if you know, watermelon ain't for me. Okay. You know, it tastes pre-chewed. I'm good. But I have tried it many times, many different ways, many different colors. Okay, seedless with the not for me. But the thing is, a willingness to encounter the resistance, a willingness to take the chance, a willingness to explore yourself. Nothing can take that from you. It's the ultimate power to be willing to say, I get a say here, and I'm going to take it.
I love it. Oh, you don't like watermelon? No, I'm just playing. 86688. And I want to troll you, but you know what I'm saying?
I've trolled watermelon before,
and why do we need people to like the things that we like? You know, I feel like we got a lot to examine. Why is that important?
Listen, it's a valid question, but watermelon is not it for me, and I have tried many times.
Amber,
okay, but I
judge
people who don't eat macaroni and cheese, so you know, there's that.
Okay. Let's put that over there. Let's go to your hometown, Chicago. Let's welcome it. Oh no, you're from Detroit.
No, I'm from Detroit.
All right, the D. All right, so we're going to Chicago though. Chicago, Dr. Gerard is there. Welcome, my brother. Hello.
What's up, Karen Hunter and Amber Cabral, two of the finest women I know. It's good to see y'all today. Hey, Amber. Hey, Amber, I am humaning well with guilty privilege.
I love it. I love to hear that.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
I mean, listen, it does. It does. Because humaning well means you're taking good care of yourself, and guilty privilege means you have the awareness to know that you have some privilege. So yes, it does.
And thank you for that, Amber. Thank you for solidifying that for me, because as we talk about Target and Al Sharpton, right? First of all, let me just get this out real quick. When the two of you have a chance, please Google or go to the Target Board of Directors hierarchy. Like, go to the Target, and when you look at the Target Board of Directors and the hierarchy of where they have the Black board members, is quite interesting. Also, Target is in trouble, but the solution is definitely not Al Sharpton. He's an avatar. He's an anime for civil rights, right? He's a coat of paint. So when Target cut DEI, they also cut respect for what? ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, disability, ability, age, religion, status, and education. The Target CEO and board should have gone to the communities, like the two of you said, and the Black Stock Exchange companies and mutual fund creators to get sensitive financial intel. I mean, you don't go to Al Sharpton, you go to John Rogers, Melody Hobson, or Jim Reynolds. See, this really frustrates me when white folks and large corporations like to go to the lowest hanging fruit and not the most intelligent and qualified black people. Like, it's just so interesting.
That tells us they don't take us seriously. That's what it says to me.
Right.
It's entertaining. It's entertaining. That's what it's about.
Yes, and I've never really taken Al Sharpton seriously because he doesn't read and he hasn't shown significant sacrifice as a civil rights person. I truly believe that, and I think that he's a face man. There's other people that Target should have asked. This is Target's way of really laughing in our faces. And it's just flat out frustrating. I mean, you're going to ask someone who doesn't fly an airplane to charter the plane, right? You're going to ask someone who's never gone to medical school to do surgery. See, it's time for us as a people to start filtering the nonsense, right? And demanding a higher standard. I think that's what Amber Cabral and Karen Hunter are doing today. Y'all keep up the good work.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you for that.
But maybe in many ways they're modeling the American experiment because we have right now in all facets of government, people who are unqualified to be there. Maybe that's the American dream, to be unqualified and yet reach the highest heights, to reach these places undeserved. Maybe that is really the message of America, and I roundly reject it. But,
I would like for dope stuff to be rewarded and like dumb stuff to be ignored, but that doesn't seem to be the formula here. I am of the same, opinion. I feel like we should, but again, it goes back to when you know what you want, you know yourself, and you know what's valuable. It's real easy to be like, I'm not participating in that. Actually,
not doing that. Yeah, I just saw Tracy Ellis Ross was she's on Michelle Obama's podcast. There's a lot. There's some good podcasts out there, especially Humaning Well. Episode 8 is about the boycotts and do we need what comes next of Humaning Well. But she was saying that she's not in a relationship because she has two things that she wants. She wants the passion and the relationship. Some people just take the passion and not all of the commitment that comes with it. And she's not going to settle for, and she's not going to be in a relationship with somebody that she's not extremely passionate about. And so I was like, yes, duh.
Valid.
But then it was like, why is she single? Because she demands these things and nothing has met it. And that's none of your business. If you ain't with her, mind your business. I feel that way. Anyway, let's go to Michigan.
Tracy Ellis Ross's bills are being paid. So
correct. She seems happy
about her preferences. Yeah, she seems fine.
Let that lady live her life. Al in Michigan, welcome to the Karen Hunter Show. Amber Cabral is here. Hello.
How you doing, Miss Hunter? How you doing, Miss Cabral?
Good.
One thing about Al Sharpton, it wasn't your fight. You did Costco's, if I'm not mistaken. So why are you going to Target?
Well, they probably called him. I'm telling you, his thing is people call him. I'm saying don't take the call. It's okay to say no. You can say no.
Well, I wish he would have said no, because at the end of the day, it doesn't really help the battle. But my question to you is, Ms. Hunter, as I get off, what you think gonna be the change? What's gonna really be the change? Do the young people just have to just take it by force and tell all the old people to move to the side?
No, Al. I think we're in the change. It's happening, and it's like you don't know until you have perspective, right? So I mean, if we're being real, the civil rights movement was not popular. There weren't a whole lot of people. Yes, the March on Washington was a big show, but the actual work, the people getting their heads bashed in, the freedom rides, all of that, not popular. Not a whole lot of black people participated. Most black people did not, and most black people felt it was putting them in jeopardy, right?
Correct.
It's 20, 30 years later, you're like, oh, and then with documentaries like Eyes on the Prize and all this, we're in it right now. This is what I'm saying. We are living in history. Everybody listening to my voice, you have an opportunity to tell your grandchildren or to put it down somewhere. So 100 years from now, they said, you did something.
Yeah.
You did something. This is that time. So it's not young people or old people. There's not going to be some charismatic leader. We don't have a Martin or Malcolm, but even then we didn't have an MLK. We had a Fannie Lou. We had a Ella Baker who was, nobody knew really, except for the people who were in them rooms. She was organizing in silence. The generation before that, Nannie Helen Burroughs, Mary McLeod Bethune, behind the scenes doing stuff. History will tell the story, which is why we have to also tell the story now, but also do something now. I don't know what the George Floyd moment, but that was still a moment that didn't bear out anything. And I said at the time, we got a short window to get something done, and we did not do it. We did not do it. We had a short window after Biden was elected to make sure Trump could never get elected again. They gave us this mealy-mouthed Merrick Garland. Nobody, did you think that these people were going to stop? And everybody that was yelling about this is going to happen were looked upon as crazy or fear-mongering. But now here we are. So now it's a wake-up call. Okay, all right. This can be light and temporary, or as Tiffany was saying earlier, we're in a burning house.
Yeah.
We could sit and fiddle and sip our tea and burn with the damn thing, because most of us aren't moving to another country. You talk that talk if you want to. Most people don't even have a passport. Amber, in this latest podcast, most people don't live in paycheck to paycheck. You can't afford to leave.
Correct.
So we're here. We're going to have to figure this out and build some maroon communities in real time and build a hedge around us and some protection and some self-defense baked in. Some of y'all need to step the F up.
Experience Karen Hunter in a completely different way. Karen Hunter is awesome. The podcast.
If you like me on SiriusXM Urban View Channel 126, you're going to love me. And Karen Hunter is awesome. Hey, this is Karen Hunter, host of The Karen Hunter Show on SiriusXM's Urban View. Karen Hunter is Awesome is an actual podcast to bring heat and energy and knowledge and power. A 1-2 punch that I don't think you get anyplace else. Tell the truth. So check out the podcast. Wherever you get your podcast, you will not be disappointed.